Okay, 3 of 4.
El hospital es...
Okay, we've leveled up, and it is time to pick another language. Mordförrättare än vanligt. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek! We're doing Greek when we get back. Ben neredeyse her gün okula giderim. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is alfil. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is skor, and that also means elephant. Okay. 10-159. Haven't made a huge dent in it, but we're getting there. Okay, gonna do some Chinese now. Nej. Man. Igen. Jo. 5. Ducks are drinking wine. Bamba. Okay, Bambas is duck. Okay, I have now leveled up. Let's see what the XP situation is now. 10,340 out of 12,500. And as always, viewers can choose my next language for me just with a follow and a $5 to my Patreon. I buy a computer or quack. And here's another example. I like to point these out. For this word for or, quack sounds vaguely like Hogun and the hok in Hogun in Korean or Waku in Japanese, and that because it is the exact same kind of character. Oh, I see. This is Dikhe Ishai Fui, which means do you want food? But yeah, we are. Hello and welcome to Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. Sorry for the delay. I had a few things I needed to take care of, but we're here now and gonna try something new. I have seen people streaming Stardew Valley every once in a while for the past couple of years, and I always think to myself, that seems like a pretty cool game. I'd actually quite like to try it out. And then I forget about that. And so today I am going to stream some Stardew Valley, and we're going to talk some languages and language learning and Georgian specifically and other languages in general. And let's get started. Nueva partida, cargando. Nombre de la granja. A ver. Matapacos. Basta. Animal preferido. Gato. Cigua. Color de ojo. Color de pelo. Ok. Ahora vamos a ver el prólogo, porque yo nunca he visto el prólogo. Y para mi querida nieta, quiero que tengas este sobre sellado. ver. No, no, no. No lo habrá aún. Ten paciencia. Presta mucha atención. Llegará un día en el que el peso de la vida moderna se convertirá en una carga. Hello, Ata, how you doing? Y tu espíritu alegre se desvanecerá frente a un vacío cada vez mayor. Cuando eso ocurra, querida, habrá llegado el momento de aceptar mi regalo. Ahora déjame descansar. 20 años después. Oh, XX. I'm doing... Oh, well, I'm doing okay. Been a hard week in a lot of ways, but... Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good right now. Despedido, ja. La vida es mejor con Joja. La wea fome, weón. Thanks. It felt like time to have something just straight up wholesome to play. And this is that. Querida Elisa, si estáis leyendo esto, es que necesitáis desesperadamente un cambio. Lo mismo me ocurrió a mí hace mucho. Había perdido de la vista lo que más importaba en la vida. Conexiones reales con otras personas y con la naturaleza. Así que lo dejé todo y me fui al lugar al que pertenecía. Y adjunto las escrituras de mi orgullo y felicidad. La granja Matapaco. I've never played this before. This is my very first time playing it. Is this your first time? Is this your first time here? I feel like I've seen your name before, but I'm shit with names. Está en Stardew Valley, en la costa sur. Es el lugar perfecto para empezar tu nueva vida. Este era mi tesoro más preciado y ahora te pertenece. Sé que hará honor al apellido familiar. Mucha suerte. Con cariño, el abuelo. PD. Si Luis sigue vivo, dale recuerdos de mi parte, ¿vale? Ah, muy español eso de vale. ¿Vale? Joder, ¿vale? Where are you joining us from? Always good to see people joining the chat who don't chat much. I like to have a lively chat. Cargando. Tren al sur. Bus al sur. Oh, right. I feel like, yeah, I do remember you now. Oh, that's a nice touch. They even adjusted the units. It's kilometers. I bet. 0,8 kilómetros. I've got this in Spanish. I like to check these things out. I like to see, like, how well they do with the localization. There are a bunch of languages available for this one, so I'm very curious. I'm going to try different languages out. Hola, tú debes de ser Elisa. Yo soy Robin, la carpintera local. El alcalde Luis me ha pedido que te enseñe el camino a tu nuevo hogar. Te espera allí, arreglándolo todo para tu llegada. La granja está aquí al lado. Sígueme. A ver. Great music in this too. Esta es la granja Matapaco. Quien sabe, sabe. ¿Qué ocurre? De verdad está un poco descuidada, pero hay tierra de calidad bajo todo este caos. Con un poco de dedicación lo habrá despejado todo en un abrir y cerrar de ojos. Y aquí está tu nuevo hogar. ¡Hombre! La nueva incorporación del pueblo. Te doy la bienvenida. Soy Lewis, el alcalde de Pueblo Pelícano. ¿Sabes? Todo el mundo preguntaba por ti, bo. No todos los días se muda alguien aquí. Es todo un acontecimiento. ¡Hey! Simon Scrambled, who handed? Así que te mudas a la vieja cabaña de tu abuelo. Es una buena casa, muy rústica. Okay, it's very rustic apparently. Rústica, bueno, podría decirse que sí. Okay, Robin looks a little bit like Anna Rudolph. This is Spanish. I didn't see if they had Georgian. They have a bunch of other languages though. I would not trust my Georgian to be able to play this in it just yet. Aunque yo más bien diría hecha polvo. Pero qué mal educada. No le hagas caso, Elisa. Solo intenta hacerte sentir mal para que le pida que mejore la casa. En fin, el viaje habrá sido agotador. Descansa un poco. Mañana deberías explorar el pueblo y presentarte a los vecinos. Le agradecerán mucho. Casi se me olvida. Si tenía algo que vender, colócalo en esta caja de aquí. Yo me pasaré por la noche a recogerlo. Bueno, suerte, vos. Okay. You've been wished luck and told that the house is in a bit of a state. Yes, kann uns Zeit find. What do we... Okay. Let's see, moverse, correr. Okay, so this is a WASD sort of game. Mira, what is that? Oh, right click is looking. Did hit Hungars. Hungars lokalizatie hetay. Gol decorativo. ¿Qué tenemos acá? I am looking forward to this. This is a game I keep forgetting that I want to play. 'Cause it just looks so cute. Okay. It's a handy trail. It's the better. I'm assuming this is just weeds. Like, very new to this game. Wait, what? Why isn't anything happening? Oh, this thing is a rock. It's a rots. Okay. Fibra vegetal. Madera. Vamos a dejar hotel. Red siempre. Colecciones. Fabricación. Mapa. Habilidad, inventario. Camiseta oscura, pantalones de granjero. Oh, I see, you can scroll down. Modo gamepad, colocar objetos, indicador. El sonido de los peces al picar. What other options? Okay. The spawns. Connected optel. Die rots. Is het mogelijk om die rots op te tellen of niet? Ah, ik zie een pico. Ah, ik zie. Poco a poco. Vamos arreglando esta guay. Ja. Ja, dit is mijn eerste keer. Nooit voorheen gespeeld, nee. Ik wou lang al die game spelen, maar ik vergeet altijd. Fibra vegetal. Er is ook een hitbox in die settings, dus is sukkel met dit. Hitbox zoals een healthbox. Oké. madera, pico, guadaña para cortar hierba y convertirla en heno. Dispone de un silo. Semilla. Bol decorativo, madera. Que Onshan. Okay. Ja, ik zie. Dat een beetje fiddly. Zoals een 80er jaren speel. Lijkt ook zoals een 80er jaren speel. Allemaal lijkt van de boerenpompie. Oké, een beetje geplant. Nu gaan ons onkruid wegmaken. Semillas variadas. Esa fibra vegetal. Empieza a cansarte. Ok. Next spring. Okay. Ja, wat is ons hier? Cumpleaños de Vincent, Festival del Huevo. Cumpleaños de Haley, Shane, Emily, Danza floral, cumpleaños de Pierre. Ok. It did what, Mark? Oh, okay. What is it? Berta. Okay, how does this work? Like, what am I doing here? What? I mean, obviously there must be a way for me to, like, pick things up and buy them, but I don't see it. Oh, is dit geslijt? Okay, salon. Progreso se ha guardado. Kit compajsni. Okay. Oh, das boss. Neat. Hola, acabo de volver de un viaje pesquero. Debería pasarte por la playa alguna vez, po. Tengo algo para ti, Willy. Oké, Willem, wat heb jij voor mij? Belangrijk nog, waar is jij? Dit is net die poes. Dit is de trailer. Salón, fruta estelar, comida, bebida. Cerrado. Ah, sí. Ah, yeah, there's a map. Opciones, salir, mapa. Ah, la granja mía. Rancho de Marnie. Cementerio. Mansión del alcalde. Clínica de Harvey. Mercajoja. Bosque trasero. Tienda de pesca. Cabaña de Elliot. kan du los rondkijken? Está cerrado. Okay. En Visa Plus is dit. Is dit een hotel? Okay. Sorry. Okay. Het is interessant. Ik zie. Oké. Esta torre. Oké. Parece abandonada. Pero todavía se puede entrar, ¿no? Okay. Oh, an actual person. Oh, nee, nog niet. Supongo que para gusto colores. Goeie vraag. Nee, het nog niemand van te verwachten. Map. Waar de hel is het? Ik sta. Oké. tell by that, yeah. Oh, I see. Did not know that that was something that I had to watch out for. Okay. Vibra vegetal. Oh, that's my fucking house. Is it? Okay, falta richtig. There's the house. Okay, there we go. Carbón, full, semilla variada. Sí. Okay. That's niks nie. buena, chavala. Ah, sí. Se nota que esta traducción fue hecha en España. You can tell this is in Spain. Chavala. Buenas, chavala. Gas, ponme otra ronda. Ok, está como un poco curada entonces. Dat is geen mogelijkheid om te antwoorden. Wow, hola, soy Gas, chef y propietario del Salón Fruta Estelar. Por favor, relájate, disfruta. Lo veo en tu cara. Te va a encantar Vuelo Pelícano. Si no sabes qué hacer por las noches, pásate por el salón. Yo trabajo allí. Ya estoy en el salón. Este es ni de salón. ¿Qué? ¿Qué quieres? Lárgate. Ahueonao. No quería saludar. Eller is tussen die stoelen wanneer jij komt. Hier die stoelen? Hola, soy Clint, el herrero del pueblo. Si alguna vez necesitáis mejorar tu herramienta, cuenta conmigo. Hanixini. Parisek. Okay. Ja, so. beetje donker hier, die. Zie. Okay, it's raining. Fibra vegetal. Okay. Okay. Getting there. What is that thing? Oké, dat gaat niet nodig geweest om die planten te wateren, denk ik. Ja, er zit hier een molen. Appel. Kan ik zien. Oké. Saloon. Die rode krab. Energía para tu vida. Merca hoja. Merca. En Chile en todo caso quiere decir como droga. Okay. Okay, gaan we. Is die. ¿Es dit? Cerrado hasta el verano. ¿Qué? Gesluit tot zomer. Ja, dit is die bibliotheek. Hola, te doy la bienvenida a la oficina arqueológica de Stardew Valley. Esto me resulta un poco violento, pero el anterior curador se marchó con toda la colección. No tenemos ni un artefacto que exponer, pero espera solucionarlo pronto. Hey, si encontráis artefactos minerales por ahí, ¿me lo haríais saber? Claro. Buena, chavala, ¿no te mojas? Sí, sí, a lo mejor sí. Tal está lloviendo. Oh, I was just in here. It's way bigger on the inside, just like a TARDIS. It's a bank. En el desierto de Carico nunca llueve. Ahí vive mi amiga Sandy. Okay, but this one's here. Una desconocida. Me llamo Vince. Mamá dice que no hable con desconocidos, pero tú pareces buena, ¿eh? Oh, no eres exactamente como imaginaba, pero no pasa nada, soy Jody. Jody. Jody sería otra weá. Hola, soy Sam. Me alegra de conocerte, ¿eh? Buenas tardes. Buenos días, buenas tardes. ¿Qué tal tu primera noche en la vieja granja? Tu abuelo solía quejarse de la cama destartalada, pero creo que en el fondo le encantaba esa casa. Is there any way to answer? Or do people just say stuff to you? Eres la chica nueva, no creo que nos vamos a llevar muy bien. Soy Alex. Ay, mierda. Oh, I see. And how does that work exactly? Fibra vegetal. I see. That's a neat little sound. Okay, how the hell... Even the controls are very 80s retro in that it's quite difficult to actually make them work properly. Nee, noch nie. Tubería de cloaca. Rancho de Marni. Mercado, herrería. Mansión del alcalde, cementerio. Nexiumi. computadora más. Una muchacha de Stardew Valley. Bienvenida, bienvenida. Por Hannes Moran. Ok. Los espíritus están algo molestos hoy. No tendrá la suerte de tu parte. Nee, ik wil die pet niet optellen. Nee. Ik wil... Ja, zwaar. Ja. Año 1. Hellsite. Oké. Ze gaan Hellsite toe. Ah, wacht. Wacht even. Wat is dit? A la playa. Nuevo. Alguien llamado Willy te ha invitado a visitar la playa que hay al sur del pueblo. Dice que tiene algo para ti. Visita la playa que hay al sur. Tendrás que empezar por lo básico. Utiliza tu azada para dar y luego usa un paquete de semillas en el suelo arado para plantar un cultivo. Riégalo todos los días hasta que estés listo para cosechar. Presentaciones. Vamos al sur. Tren al sur. ¿Está Willy? Hola muchacha, sí, pues. Había oído que había alguien nuevo en el pueblo. Me alegro de conocerte. Ah, aún me estoy intentando recuperar de mi mes navegando por la mar salada. He conseguido un buen botín. He vendido un montón de buen pescado. He conseguido ahorrar lo suficiente para una nueva caña. Toma, quiero que te quedes con mi caña abeja. Para mí es importante mantener vivo el arte de la pesca. Y oye, a lo mejor hasta termina comprando en mi tienda alguna vez, po. Caña de bambú. Hay buenas aguas en este valle. Todo tipo de peces. O si mi tienda vuelve a estar abierta. Así que pásate si necesitáis algo. También te compraré lo que pesque. Si huele, se vende. Es algo que solía decir mi viejo. ¿Y cómo funciona esta agua? ver. ¡Es una gaviota! Sí, 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 sí. Crickets cry. Sí. Eso ya lo tengo. Presentación. 12 de 28 vecinos saludados. Ok. Vamos a seguir saludando, weones. Ah, vanille fisfa. Ah, aquí está. Un 300 trozos de madera se podría arreglar. Está cerrado. ¿Qué? Está recto del bolsillo, weón. Ah, la versión. I think I already met and greeted that one. Energía para tu vida. Okay, we're gonna get anything. I thought I had one. I threw dick. Ah, that's fuck all. Pueblo pelícano. Está cerrado. Ok. Slate. O tú eres la nueva granjera o algo así, ¿no? Oh, soy Heli. Si no fuera por esa ropa horrenda que lleváis, sería guapa. Bueno, da igual. Ah, nadie se vio. What else have we got? Oh, very pretty color there. Oh, we were just here. Redelijk vinnig inruil wanneer de uitroepteken verschijnt. Niet amper niemand houdt een visvang. Oh, ik versta. Ja. Saludos, soy Demetrio, científico local y padre. Gracias por presentarte. Estudio las plantas y animales de la zona de este laboratorio de casa. ¿Conoces a Maru, mi hija? Está interesada en conocerte. ¿Y dónde está? Está aquí dentro. Piedra, suelo de ladrillo, pasarela, camino de cristal. Oh, te acaba de mudar, ¿no? Genial, Sebastián. De todos los sitios para vivir, elegiste Pueblo Pelícano. ¿Qué chucha acabo de hacer? $15 de 28, me faltan 13. Come on. How big is this bloody fish? Volg. Ik moet volg. Ik versta. Dat is niet... Ja, dat is niet eenvoudig meer. Ik het. 13 centimeter. Een zonvis. Die C-knopje, oké. Oké. Nou verstaan ik een beetje beter hoe dit maakt. Come on. Uitroepteken. Ya son las 20 horas. Ya, ¿y dónde chucha estoy? Doet dit nou goedkoop? Fishing people. Lleva toda la tarde esperando esta vida. Jeje, siempre está curada. Pero que trabaje de forma sostenible. El ecosistema del valle es frágil. Bueno, dime más. Pues como lo sé, tengo una intuición muy potente. El negocio va lento últimamente. Debería mejorar tus herramientas, me vendría bien el dinero. A mí también, wow. ¿Qué quieres? Déjame en paz. Huevón solitario. Beetje meer licht zou niet schaden. Kom. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of a bio break and then I will be back and we're gonna look at some videos and stuff. Perfect. Okay, 3 of 4.
El hospital.
Okay, we've leveled up and it is time to pick another language. Morfar är tröttare än vanligt. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek. We're doing Greek when we get back. Ben neredeyse her gün okula giderim. Uyum. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is alfil. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is squab. And that also means elephant. Okay. 10-159. Haven't made a huge dent in it, but we're getting there. Okay, gonna do some Chinese now. Night. Night. Man. Yen. Yo. 5. Ducks are drinking wine. Bambas. Bamba, okay, Bambas is duck. Okay, I have now leveled up. Let's see what the XP situation is now. 10,340 out of 12,500. And as always, viewers can choose my next language for me just with a follow and a $5 to my Patreon. I buy a computer or quack. And here's another example. I like to point these out. For this word for or, but sounds vaguely like Hogun and the hok in Hogun in Korean or waku in Japanese, and that means it is the exact same kind of character. Oh, I see. This is Dikhe Ishai Pui, which means do you want food? But yeah, are you hungry? That kind of thing. How are the boys? Sineta boy. Poso milao. Pote. When is it? Proteine. Utros. Protoculo. In the designated chicken-eating area, obviously.
Liv. Monsieur.
See.
Livre. Liwe, livla.
Maciej.
Yeah.
Sí. Wysoki. Maciej. Proč? Inter. Počkej. A. Sí.
Oilen coginio panas. Hakab. Hefed. 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 Haq. Haq. Haq.
Mwalimu.
This is Arabic. And it's from Mu'allim.
Juma ni mwalimu mke.
Oh, things speak cat sounds. Meow and the pictures of the fish. That's they were proud.
Sööpä. Kupu. Yrittävät. Uraista. Omena.
Are in the... Okay, and I am back. Acoso 5, vuestra fuente número 1 sobre el tiempo, las noticias y el entretenimiento. Y ahora la predicción del tiempo para mañana. Parcialmente nublado con una suave brisa. Espera mucho polen. And I think with that, we're gonna switch gears. Salir al escritorio. And we're gonna look at a couple of videos for the last hour. Oh, where? One language, 5 dialects. When can you begin watching content when learning a language? The language with the most sounds in the world. Georgian text practice. My week. Chemi Quira. ¿Se puede llegar a un nivel nativo? Vario. How YouTube ruins language learning and how you can fix it. Okay, interesting. I personally think YouTube, if you are using it right, it can be quite good for language learning. This is from Multilingual Mastery.
If you don't know what you're doing at YouTube,
I've never looked at this channel before. This is totally new to me. But this should be interesting. Just make sure crop looks okay.
YouTube absolutely ruins language learning. Like, yes, there are educational channels like mine that
Okay.
help you to learn how to do new things and learn to build new skills like learning languages. But we need to talk about how YouTube completely dysregulates language learners. And
Okay, I mean, I'm not sure what she means by dysregulating. Bayachiluk.
makes people quit. My name is Jamie, I'm a language coach. Let's talk about why YouTube ruins language learning for so many people and how to combat it. Because obviously, I use YouTube to communicate with you, so it's not all that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I would have said that it's actually, I mean, again, it is a matter of knowing what you're looking for, but I'd say it's really bloody good.
You just have to be a little bit more aware of it. Now, a brand new language learner or somebody who is interested in language learning might go onto YouTube and look up language learning. And then, because of YouTube's magical algorithms, they'll be shown all the most viral and interesting videos. But
Well, I mean, viral, yes, not necessarily interesting. Maybe the most interesting titles.
they won't see my videos. They won't be seeing ways to practice speaking a foreign language or Spanish grammar resources.
Which, I mean, actually, Spanish grammar resources I wouldn't really necessarily recommend, so if any,
Or
okay.
most fun beginner language apps. Instead, you'll see videos about how somebody learned a language in 24 hours or how somebody surprised a bunch of native speakers by being able to speak their language. It's all shock and exaggerated claims to get you excited to click and watch the video and
Oh, well, yes.
to make the creator money. And while there's nothing wrong with making money from these videos, what is wrong is teaching people that that is a healthy way to go about learning languages.
I mean, okay, but, I mean, the second thing isn't really a way to go about learning languages at all. It is sort of an effect of having done so. But the first, I mean, the idea that you're going to learn a language in 24 hours, yeah, I mean, certainly that's not a reasonable expectation, and
It makes us chase fluency and want to show off how quickly and how perfectly we're learning a language. And then after you buy the course or you buy the app or whatever it is,
which is the mistake a lot of the time, because a lot of the best resources are free. I mean, the best way to use YouTube for language learning isn't really a whole lot to do with buying courses and stuff like that. I'm not saying that there aren't useful courses out there. There probably are. or that there aren't like useful services that are provided by YouTube creators. Like, I mean, that certainly exists. There are things you can do with me for a relatively reasonable price. Like I can help create a playlist in your target language if it's a target language I can work with, and just help you kind of get out of ruts and things like that. That's the thing that I help with on a one-on-one basis. But I mean, but a lot of the best language stuff on YouTube really is just free.
You'll go through the APRA course and then you'll open your mouth to speak the language and nothing will come out. So then we compare ourselves to everybody on the internet who's talking about how amazing it is to learn languages. And this causes a lot of shame and embarrassment and ultimately stops people from learning languages.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, okay, totally agree here. Because, I mean, the thing is, the two important things are having, like, realistic expectations and patience, and the two go together. And the silent period is something I talk about a fair bit on here because it often gets glossed over, but it is just a natural part of language acquisition. It happens with all languages that you acquire. It happened with your first one too. And you just have to get used to it. You're going to understand before you speak. And that's okay. And it isn't like anyone who tells you their method is going to just, regardless of the language and how similar it is to other languages you already know, that you're just automatically going to understand everything. I mean, that's just nonsense. Like, I mean, unless your target language is something that closely related to a language you already know, that's not going to be how that works. But, I mean, so having but the idea, I mean, the expectation you ought to have, if you're using the right kind of materials, you probably will be understanding a little bit more, at least, each time. Even if there's still a lot you don't understand.
Honestly, actually learning languages is difficult enough on its own. We don't want to put even more obstacles in front of people who are trying to learn languages by giving them all these toxic ideas that are not real. So instead, well, if you're watching this video, then you're already on the right path. But straight up, just don't watch those videos. And if you really must, if you really feel like you should at least watch what's going on, there's no harm in it, open up an incognito window and search for it on YouTube there. That way, YouTube won't think that you...
See, I mean, I think it isn't a matter of watching them, it's a matter of understanding. First of all, understanding that anyone who's saying that they learned a language in 24 hours, either they didn't do it in 24 hours or they didn't really learn the language well. They learned how to say a couple of phrases or something. I mean, that's just crap. But understanding, it isn't so much like watching the content at all as understanding that when you see outcome, that you're looking at the outcome of something that you're not necessarily seeing the process that was involved with. Good German songs, Oh, well, I guess it depends what kind of music you're into.
You want to watch those videos
there are
more
lots
and
of
then show them to you.
There's lots of German
Instead,
music.
think about what your specific problems are in a language and search YouTube for that, because there are so many videos, mine included, that have been made just to support those problems, including, if you watch my videos, language learning resources to help with those specific issues. The next issue is fake polyglots, or even real ones, honestly, that post videos just for the purpose of selling their course. Now, I personally have a lot of issues here, but I'm going to focus on one in particular, and that's that they recommend their course for every language learning, but not specifying that every language course is not for every language learner. You could...
Yeah, and also, it really depends on what we mean by a course. Because so much of, when you hear course, a lot of the time it's like, here we're going to practice grammar and stuff like that. And that sort of skills-based approach, which is this nonsense that we learn in school, and a big part of why people manage to go through several years of a language in school and not get anywhere, is just not going to help. There are, there is an approach that works, but the thing is you mostly don't have to pay for it.
You can watch, honestly, hundreds of YouTube videos all talking about one particular course and how wonderful and amazing it is. That doesn't necessarily mean it's wonderful and amazing for you. Because instead of highlighting things like what kind of goals you can expect to achieve with a course, or
I mean, this kind of feels like she's doing the thing where she's selling, where she's like building up to a course, though. Although, I mean, this isn't bad advice, let me just say that. Like, it isn't bad advice to have a very clear idea of what you're trying to do. Because what you're trying to do with the language is going to determine to a great extent what is going to be useful for you in terms of material for picking up the language.
or what kind of language learner it's for, or what your interests might be. Or
Yeah,
even
that is essential. Like, the more interesting, inherently interesting the content that you look at, the materials that you work with are for you, the better a chance you're going to get a good result.
how you like to learn is assumed that every language course is for every language learner regardless of anything, and all you have to do is find the right language course that is perfect for everybody. But it doesn't have to be that way. There are ways to know which resources will be better or worse for you without having to spend all of your time and money going through all these resources. Yes, that way it's my full course or just my language app search. Link below in the description. But
I knew it.
a lot of people here on YouTube like to come on here and talk about their amazing experience and how they're so good at learning languages, and so you should buy their course. Instead of
Yeah, which is not, I mean, the question is, does their course reflect what they've, their actual ingredients for success, or are they falling back into a model that probably, demonstrably had very little to do with it?
of trying to fix the problems that already exist with language learning. So instead of following the most famous popular polyglots on YouTube and just kind of
Well, there's always one group I've always quite liked is Die Toten Hosen. There's also, let's see who else, Die Ärzte, I like them a lot. I like them better than Die Toten Hosen sometimes, anyway. Pudis. I mean, there's lots. I'm just listing favorites of mine.
following whatever they have to say. You can still watch them, you can still listen to them, but take it all with a grain of salt. People who have learned a bunch of different languages tend to be really biased towards strategies that have worked for them, and they assume that those are like the best strategies. They may be.
I mean, what is worth noting, and she hasn't said this, and that doesn't mean she's not going to say this. I am not familiar with her. But the thing is, we do have a lot of research on what strategies do work. Now, the ingredients can be used. The ingredients that are always present with successful language acquisition can be used in all sorts of different ways, and the exact mix is going to be different for different people. Because it is actually a very broad category. You talk about comprehensible input and stuff like that. The world of input is, practically infinite. The world of, it may be very finite what kind of input is available to you, depending on what language. Like, if you're trying to learn, for example, I don't know what to tell you. There's probably not a whole lot of comprehensible input available for it. You may actually have to just go to Botswana. But with a lot of more commonly studied languages, there's quite a bit, and it's a matter of picking the stuff that actually works for you. And that is actually, in many ways, a very individual sort of judgment.
They may not be, but there's no way for them to know if it will be for you, a perfect stranger. The next thing that goes wrong with people looking on YouTube for language learning help is when we spend more of our time researching ways to learn a language than actually learning a language. And I say that as somebody who has absolutely spent years doing this. While learning how to learn a language does take some research and learning and thinking and, all that good stuff, a lot of people, especially perfectionists, love to use this as procrastination because learning a language
And
is
I mean, let's just add, I mean, in terms of researching what sort of materials and the exact approach on how to use them is best for you, really the best way of doing that is to use them. I mean, to just sort of work out, you find some stuff that is, to start out, that is interesting, it fits in with what you want to learn the language for, what stuff you actually like to engage with, what kind of content, whether it's, written or videos or music or whatever. And you go from there. I mean, if you can research in the abstract methods all you want, but that is still going to be offering you mostly generalities. Figuring out the right sort of stuff that works specifically for you is something best done by just trying a bunch of stuff out and seeing.
It's really difficult and it can be really scary to try. But what's not scary is typing in words into YouTube and watching YouTube videos. But it's productive, right? So if you are spending your time...
and the thing is, it is, actually. I mean, depending on what words you're using words in your target language to bring up videos in your target language about stuff you are interested in general, that potentially is quite productive.
I'm learning a language, but you're actually just researching how to learn a language and then not applying the strategies that you're learning to your own language learning goals. I need you to step away from YouTube and do some actual language learning because you can't research your way into learning a language. You have to actually learn it and use it and,
I mean, you can research your way out of bad ways of learning a language. Let me just say that.
All that stuff, all that really scary stuff. Yes, other people's experiences and reviews can be helpful, but they're not you. So there's no way for you to know if somebody else's experiences are going to mirror yours.
I mean, that's true.
Unless you have your own experiences. I know that's really, really scary, but if you want to learn a language, you kind of gotta suck it up sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, and it really doesn't have to be scary, because like a lot of the activities that can be very helpful for language acquisition are really, first of all, I mean, one thing we do know is that low stress is pretty essential. The less stress the environment produces in which you're trying to acquire a language, the better your chances of doing it. And in that sense, what you just it has to do with your expectations of yourself. You have to just sort of accept that you're not necessarily going to get a whole lot at first, but you are probably going to start to get something. And sometimes that can be as little as just noticing where one word starts and another word ends. Like, I mean, which is one of the first things that I got out of just looking at materials in Georgian, which is a relatively, I would say, a real hard case for any approach to language acquisition, but, and you really do not get a whole lot a whole lot of a foothold to start from when you're working with it.
The next thing to realize about using YouTube to learn a language is that everybody loves to talk about the same giant apps. Apps like Duolingo,
Which sucks.
Babbel, Pimsleur, Rosetta Stone.
Never use them, can't really comment, but I would be really surprised if any of them are particularly good.
Basically the names that you've heard of. It's not wrong to talk about these giant language apps, but there's so many other language learning resources that exist that are more beneficial to more language learners than just these big, like 4 or 5 different apps.
I hope she's going to talk a little bit about what she means.
Yes, for example, while Pimsleur is good for audio lessons, it can be really boring and doesn't actually really get you.
I have to say, I've bought a couple of like Pimsleur books and things like that. I've never been impressed.
Using the language in a conversational way, you can try something like Yask or Polygloss, which are very, very small, intimate apps.
Yeah, I've never heard of Yask, but Polygloss is kind of a neat idea, and it is based very much on the idea of trying to communicate. So you're like trying in your target language to explain something that is to do with the image, essentially.
but
To
will
help
get you
somebody
so
guess
much
it.
farther along in using the language that you're learning. And as always, links below in the description of all the resources that I mentioned in this video. Or instead of just using Duolingo for your Spanish grammar, you
Which
can use
again
something like
sucks.
Ella which is incredibly so much better.
Yeah, except actually, what we know about grammar acquisition is what really works for it is pleasure reading. I mean, grammar instruction literally is useless. There is simply no reason to do it. It is boring as hell, and it is not how people acquire grammar.
For learning your Spanish conjugations, like far and away the very best you can do. But these are
well, I
absolute
mean,
resources
short of things that work.
most people aren't talking about. Now, obviously, I am personally trying to change this in the industry, but I'm only one person. The issue is that these smaller apps do not have the advertising budget that giant corporations do. Yes, Duolingo is a corporation.
Yeah, it's a Fortune 500 company, and it's really remarkable how little of that profit they are actually investing into making it a more worthwhile app. In fact, they're really well along the enshittification path.
It's not like a nonprofit. Like they make a lot of money. So instead of using these giant apps that maybe don't excite you that much and don't really feel like they would work for you, I really highly recommend you try some of the smaller apps that you maybe haven't heard of yet.
Or just look for videos on subjects that you care about in the language you're interested in learning. If you have trouble, I mean, the search terms can make that a bit complicated, especially starting out when you don't have much of a vocabulary. But you just ask something, find somebody you can ask to help you come up with search terms for whatever the subject is you'd like to watch videos on, whether it's like cooking or how to, building PCs or, travel videos or whatever. That would be it's also cheaper. It would be a way better way of spending your time, a lot more fun, and it costs you nothing.
And that's one of the reasons why I do my blog post reviews, because I can show you what it's like to use these language apps and if they are right for you or other alternatives. The next thing to know about how YouTube ruins language learning, and I've been there and I have done that, and you shouldn't do that anymore. People here on YouTube love to talk about the language strategies that have worked for them, which is amazing and excellent and awesome. However, people love to assume, again, that that's just like a general, like everybody should be using this strategy because I do.
And this is just sort of a matter of imprecision, because strategy, there are many ways to take the term strategy. For example, a lot of people will think that, comprehensible input is a strategy. It's not. It is an essential ingredient in the process. A strategy is about how you make that useful to you, how you engage with it so that it actually, it maximizes the benefit for language acquisition and stuff. And there's a lot of misunderstandings in terms of sort of this imprecise use of terminology.
When this happens, and I'm talking about personal experience, is that you try all these different strategies and you kind of push yourself through them for a little bit, but eventually you give up. You finish, you're done. And there's a lot of that shame and guilt and frustration again. So when you try all these strategies that all of these famous polyglots are using, and they work, but they don't work for you, you assume that it's something wrong with you. There's an issue that's wrong with you, but it's not. The issue
is usually that assuming you're using an otherwise viable approach, you probably just haven't found the right kind of material to engage with.
Is that everybody loves to come on here and talk about their favorite language learning strategies as if they are the best for everybody. Well, I'm assuming that's not necessarily the intention of these people. It is what happens, because it happened to me and it's happened to all of my clients. Being able to understand how to differentiate between different strategies and what you're looking for is a skill that nobody else besides me and my channel really seem interested in doing.
That surprises me, because actually a lot of the best channels that I've found on here do exactly that.
Because if you've been taught over and over and over again that the right strategies don't work for you, it's only logical to assume that you are the problem. I've been there, and I can promise you that you are not the problem. It's just the knowledge that has been given to you. That knowledge is like not complete. It's not wrong, but it's not.
This is all very abstract, though.
It's not like inclusive.
I mean, like, she's saying some pretty useful stuff here. Like, because there is a very personal aspect to figuring out the exact right approach that will work for you. That's true. Absolutely right. But I'm not getting any sense of, I mean, apart from saying something about practicing grammar, which actually does not bode well, because there's really no evidence that has ever helped anyone acquire grammar. In fact, the evidence is negative. But in general, I mean, this is very abstract. There's not a whole lot to walk away from this with, other than what you already kind of probably were already suspecting, namely that some methods just that people talk about as if they're the gold standard aren't actually really getting the kind of results for you that would lead you to say that about
Inclusive
them.
of everybody's needs. Now, if you want more of an objective, inclusive approach to finding language strategies and language learning resources, click the link below to join my free course.
It's like she started out with something about how everybody is trying to flog their course and stuff like that, and that's exactly what she's like. This has all just been a marketing funnel for her course. Like, you don't get. For all I know, she has good, for all I know, she has sound ideas in her course. I don't want to say anything about it. I've not actually tried. I've literally never seen this creator until now. It just showed up in my recommendations. It looked like it might be interesting. But in terms of things you can walk away with and immediately put into practice, this is really, really thin.
Will teach you how to use my language app search, my free language app search, to find the resources that will be most beneficial to you in your language learning. And this is based on your target language, your level, your goals, things that are actually meaningful to you, not some polyglot, not some random stranger on the internet. So if you found this,
I mean, she is a random stranger on the internet. I mean, which is not. I mean, I am too. No shade on random strangers on the internet. But
this video valuable, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video all about how to learn a language every Wednesday. And make sure you grab my free course to learn how to combat all the issues that I discussed.
Okay. I'm gonna check out another by her.
Language learning can.
This is explaining language learning simply so you can learn a new language easily. Okay. Because I just want to see if because that last one is just really vague. So I'm wondering, does she get a little bit more specific? Because that immediately, like, you look at that, and the one thing you can walk away from that with is that some things are not going to work for you, but you've probably already worked out that there are some things that are not going to work for you. And I'm very curious if she talks at all about her sort of her general approach to this, other than some things work better for some people and not others.
Can feel really complicated. My name is Jamie, I'm a language coach. In this video, I'm going to explain language learning simply, without talking about exact strategies or exact resources, because
Okay.
those are going to differ from person to person, from day to day. If you are overwhelmed by language learning and you're not sure what direction to go, this video is for you.
Wait, she's not going to talk about exact strategy. Okay, is she going to define what strategies are? Because this is like, I mean, this is already sounding like this is going to be vague as hell again.
How to learn a language in simplest terms. Step one is to pick the language that you want to learn. And I know that sounds obvious and it might seem really simple, but for a lot of language learners, it's not that simple. A lot of people get...
So, I mean, is that a thing where somebody just wants to learn, like, a random language? They don't have any particular preference or, like, use case? It's just, like, a random language they want to learn. I mean, I've never actually. Yeah, is that a thing, chat? I mean, that somebody's like, I want to learn a language, and they don't have any idea what it would be, or because it feels like usually people get into this, they have some reason they want to learn a particular language. There's some interest in a particular language, not so much just like sort of randomly some language.
Stuck on this first step for a variety of reasons. Either they're confused between which language they want to learn, which language will be more productive, which language will be more useful in their life. Maybe they feel more obligated to learn another language because maybe it's their family's language, but they really want to learn another language. Maybe another language is going to be better for your career. I've heard them all, and I can tell you with 100% confidence that if you're in this position, pick the language that you want to learn.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. I mean, obviously you're not going to learn any language at all if you aren't setting out to learn a language, but okay.
It doesn't matter if it's not going to be useful to your life or your career. It doesn't matter if it's not as easy to learn as some other languages that you probably should learn.
And this I agree with wholeheartedly. Okay. I mean, that my approach with languages, I'm, as somebody who's just sort of obsessed with learning languages and just loves languages in general, has never been, oh, I ought to learn this or something like that. It's like, oh, this one sounds interesting. Let's check it out.
And even if you have picked Spanish, for example, and you're confused between different accents, just pick the one that you really like.
Okay, good advice. Good advice. Like, just sort of pick one. You can always begin to develop an understanding of others later on.
And stick to it. Stop wasting your time being confused about which language you should learn and second-guessing yourself and invalidating your opinion and what you want to learn. Focus on what you want to do and do it.
Okay, I mean, I totally agree with that.
There are two reasons. The first reason is that any reason not to learn the language that you really want to learn is not nearly as important as you think it is.
Also, what is a reason not to learn a language? I mean, yeah, it's like she's trying to... I mean, okay, like this last bit, I have to say, I mean, totally sound. I agree with what she's saying here. I mean... in terms of picking a language and just sort of going with what you care about, what you're interested in, is absolutely what I would say to somebody. Like, if I ran into somebody who was like, they want to learn a language and they can't decide which, or something like that, that is exactly the sort of thing I would say. Just sort of pick one that feels right to you, that you're, go where your interest is, and follow that. But, I mean, there's just so much vagueness other than that, and I'm hoping she's going to get a little bit more concrete in this one.
You can always learn that other language, but right now you're not learning languages at all, and that's the worst possible solution. It doesn't actually matter. Second reason is that a lot of people get stuck here because they're afraid to move forward. Now, if you have that fear, I'm not gonna be able to solve that in this video, but if that does sound about right to you, let me know in the comments down below. But step one is to pick your language and own it. Don't worry about what you're supposed to do, because...
I mean, yeah. Like, literally, people have been asking me for advice on language learning for a lot of my life, actually. I mean, like, we're talking decades now, and I have to say, I've not encountered the specific person who wants to learn an unspecified language and can't decide which. My experience has always been people are like, oh, I wanna get into Spanish, or I wanna get into Russian, or like, can you help me with Japanese or something like that? People have an idea what they want to do, and they figure I might be able to contribute to them finding a way to do it that will work, since they know that I've managed to make it work on my end. But I mean, so I wonder if that is a thing, that there are people who just like. But okay, I mean, what she's saying, I will say, it makes total sense. I don't know, I mean, that last video just kind of felt so marketing funnily that it annoyed the hell out of me. But what she just said there, in terms of just picking what you care about, I would totally... If I ever had somebody come to me and say that, that they were trying to decide what language to learn and they didn't really have any idea, that is exactly what I would say.
Because anybody who says that you're supposed to do something to learn a language is probably trying to sell you something that you don't need. Now that you've made a decision on which language you want to learn, the second step in language learning in the simplest terms is to decide how you want to use that language.
Okay, one thing that really kind of irks me, I have to say, I've seen this a couple of times now, where somebody will be like, oh, somebody does this or this or this, they're trying to sell something to you. And then they're trying to sell something. And it's like, if you're trying to sell something, I mean, I don't have an objection to trying to sell something. We all have to survive capitalism somehow. And to me, it's a question of whether you're selling something that is worthwhile or not. But, I mean, it's like people who are themselves selling things acting like, oh, well, that's just somebody trying to sell you something. Well, maybe it is, but you're also doing that, and either that's a bad thing or it's not a bad thing. Like, make up your mind. Is it unseemly to be selling something, or is it unseemly only if the thing that they're selling sucks shit?
Language and commit. Be clear on exactly what your goals are and intentionally focus your activities on that goal. What does that even mean? When I work with my clients in the method, the second step that
What is the method?
they take is to get clear on what exactly they want to accomplish with their language learning. Do they
Good advice! I mean, I will say, absolutely good advice. I mean, because in picking the sort of materials to engage with, in picking where your focus is, that, I mean, having a clear idea of what you want to do with the language, what it matters to you more than anything to do with the language, that is important. I mean, absolutely good advice.
want to have conversations? Do they want to understand movies? Do they want to write a book? Do they?
Yeah. I mean, and what movies? Is there a specific genre of movies they want to understand? Is there a particular subject they want to be able to read and write about? I mean, and the more specific you get, the better. Like, the more what you are doing in terms of language learning is closely related to things that matter to you, that you care about, that you enjoy, the better you are going to be able to focus on it. The more you have to force yourself to do language stuff, the less you're going to get out of it.
They want to write a journal? Do they want to have a pen pal? Do they want to be able to understand music? Do they want to have near native pronunciation? These are all very different goals. And it can be easy to group all these goals together into learn the language, but they're very, very different. And this is where a lot of language learners get stuck. Let's say, for example, that you want to write to a pen pal. Basically, writing to a pen pal would mean to be able to write and understand the written word of the language. So
yeah, I mean, true. When she talks about getting clear on one's specific goals, that is advice that I would exactly give.
So would it be helpful to practice speaking the language? I mean, it's not going to be not helpful, it's not going to hurt you, but it's not going to intentionally get you closer to the goal that you're looking to accomplish. It is by no means a waste of time. However, if you don't have that much time, I would really recommend you focusing on the exact activities that will get you closer to your exact goal.
And the thing about the pen pal use case, where it's basically reading and writing, is you will almost certainly get there before you get to just being able to spontaneously speak off the cuff about any random subject of interest.
Basically, you should be committing the majority of your time, if not all of your time, when you're learning a language, getting closer to the specific eventual goal that you have in mind. That's why if you want to be able to speak French, spending all of your time on Duolingo isn't going to get you where you need to go because
you can substitute literally any language for that. Yeah, I mean, it's like the one saving feature Duolingo has is the stories, and the fact that now the stories are integrated into that useless language tree makes them that much less useful.
You're not speaking it. And no, 2 little exercises every day is not nearly enough to get you speaking conversationally. If you're spending all of your time tapping buttons or memorizing vocabulary words, you're going to end up disappointed because you're not doing the things that you need to do to get where you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, and memorization and tapping buttons and stuff, it's just nothing to do with language acquisition. It just isn't. That memorization is not actually going to help you. Now, the idea that you can, like, just sort of force the speaking immediately is not, I mean, you need to just accept that it's going to take a while before speaking is something that you can just comfortably do. That there is what is called a silent period, and you just need to accept it. Passive consumption and understanding is going to come before that.
That said, don't worry about the apps or the courses or the strategies or whatever it is yet. Instead, focus on your goal.
What does it mean to focus on your goal and not worry about the strategies? Surely the strategies and the goal sort of connected.
Now, the next step on how to learn a language in simplest terms can go one of two ways. The first option is for my DIYers. If you're really motivated to figure out all this language learning yourself, by all means, take what you've learned so far in this video about what you want in your language learning, go to my language app search link below in the description.
Not that she's trying to sell, not that she's trying to sell you anything or anything. I mean, it seems like this could be an interesting resource, though. I mean, reviews and stuff like that are not bad at all.
And plug in all your stuff. And if you want a little bit more guidance, once you go down to my language app search, there's also a link for my free course that will help you understand how to best use my language app search. My free course is also linked below in the description if you want to go straight to there. But once you're confident...
Like, okay, and no shade. I mean, it looks like some serious work went into this language app search thing. I mean, that looks like that could actually be kind of a cool thing for comparing these things. I don't particularly think there is a whole lot to be gained from those apps, and some of them I think will produce so much frustration that people will become discouraged. But, I mean... But it's just so odd that somebody keeps on sort of disparaging people trying to sell something when she's very clearly also trying to sell something. Like... I mean... And that's no shade on what she's trying to sell. I don't know enough about it to have an opinion. But she's clearly trying to get people to, I mean, like, the free course is an introduction. I mean, I've learned a lot about this sort of thing. In part because I've kind of helped my mother do, like, marketing for this sort of thing. And you have the video, and the video gets you to the free course, and the free course is there to spark your interest further, give you sort of maybe a few useful tidbits on the way, but also give you a reason, a motivation to do a paid course of some sort. And, I mean, this is an established marketing thing, but it's like, if you're selling something, then, you know, why... I feel like it's counterproductive almost to be like, you know, well, anyone who says that is selling something to you, and then turn around and say, well, by the way, here's my free course and my, you know, here's what my clients do, and you could become one of my clients and stuff like that. Like, if the issue, if that's what you're trying to do, then lean into it. Just because the issue isn't that other people are trying to sell something also. The issue is whether what they're selling is any good. I mean, I just don't understand this impulse. Like, I mean, I will say, it is possible to work with me one-on-one, and pay money to do so, for me to help you kind of put together materials and stuff that are going to help you with language learning goals and stuff like that. That is something, you know, I want to get paid too. But, I mean, you don't see me saying, oh, well, they're just trying to sell something, that means what they're doing sucks. Like, maybe it does, but that's, like, whatever... That depends on what they're doing. It depends on what they're selling, and I don't know what she's selling exactly. I have to say, I find these videos just a little bit annoying because they're just so vague. I mean, not that she didn't give some good advice there, that as I said, absolutely some very good advice that she started out with, you know, getting straight on goals in particular is important. And I'm not saying anything about the content of her courses or anything like that, because I don't know. They might be great. She might be great to work with. I don't know anything about her. It just gets me when people are like, yeah, those people, they're just selling something. By the way, have I told you about my course? Like, I mean, it seems like self-sabotage. Because you're already suggesting that that's unseemly, and then you're going to turn around a few minutes later and do the thing that you've just been casting shade on. Like, I mean, like, just maybe that's not, is that an approach that works? That's what, I mean, is that something, like, I mean, if somebody, like, does that motivate, chat, tell me, does this motivate you to, like, pay somebody money if they start out by saying, yeah, anyone who tells you otherwise, they're probably trying to get paid? And it's like, I mean, I'm trying to get paid. I like, seriously. I'm not trying to get paid by people, in a way that's gonna actually get in the way of people's ability to meet their own needs and shit like that. If people want to pay me and stuff, I'm actually kind of happy to accept. But I'm also not going to slag somebody off who's trying to get paid unless they're trying to get paid for some shit that clearly isn't going to be fit for purpose or something like that. I just don't get that. I really don't get it. I mean, Jamie might be, Jamie's probably a lovely person. She has at least some ideas that I totally would subscribe to in terms of an approach to learning languages. Absolutely no shade there. I don't know enough about her to provide a sort of general critique, but this approach to the videos, I have to say, I would adjust that. I personally would not do it that way. And with that, it is time for me to wrap it up for today. I will be back on Twitch this time at 4:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, and I hope to see you all there.